Dear CG Thinker, welcome. If you are here, it's because you know Fluent 1.6 is available. What's new? How it works? You are on the right place. Open Blender and follow me.
CG South, share our knowledge, grow together.
The first thing is about the circular array. I'm going to make up a rectangle like this, add a circular array, and a new thing is now you don't have to do a full tour for the circular array. You can choose the angle adjustment and move the cursor. Hold Control to snap every 45 degrees. Okay, so you can make something like this or like this. Okay, and back to the radius and the number of elements. So this is one new ability of the circular array. Another new thing for the circular array is to help us to work around a cylinder. To be sure to understand what's happening, I will demonstrate it with a cube. Make a cut on this face, okay? Like this, and call the circular array. So that's the normal behavior of the circular array, okay? The circular array follow the surface of the drawing. But now, if you press X on the object, the circular array rotates, okay? And now it turns around the whole object, okay? So to be sure to understand, when I draw on this face and then press X, the new circular array is like this, okay? If you draw on the top face, what will be happening? Press X, it's now like this, okay? So on this face, press X, on this face, press X. So now demonstration on a cylinder to understand and show how I make my demonstration for the teaser. I change the resolution to 8, okay? 8. Now I make a cut on this face and call the circular array. One more time, I will press X on the object, and this is the new circular array orientation, okay? Now we will speak about an important change in the workflow of Fluent in the 1.6 version. Is around the ability to cut the cutter. If you follow my tutorials and videos since few times, I speak a lot about this technique. This technique is when you cut a boolean and you will see what's happening. If you make a cutter here, okay, and if this cutter use an array and or a mirror, okay, now if you select your boolean object and if you cut this object here, boom, boom, if I cut the cutter, boom, your operation is automatically repeated for all items, okay? So this is an important change that will greatly speed up the workflow. And this is what I use in my teaser when I show this one. But the important thing is to find where is the object before the repetition. I don't cut this part randomly. It's because if I go in edit mode, I can see the original object is here. So I cut on this place. And this is what I do with my circular array in the teaser of Fluent. I select my boolean object, go in edit mode and find where is the object before the repetition is here. So I will cut on this face, press F, cut, and I will use the shape tool, shift click, and let's go like this, like this, like this. And I use a mirror here and here. And when I exit and validate this operation, as you can see, the cut is repeated everywhere. Another new thing to improve the speed up of the workflow is a new ability which allows us to reuse your last boolean you will be able to duplicate it without exit Fluent and call the duplicate tool. Just demonstration, I make a cut ici. Here I will make a new cut. Okay. And if you check the text here, you have a new thing, duplicate, Control W. So use Control and W, and now you can place and replace your object. And why not make something like this? Okay. Don't forget, in Fluent, if your objects are a duplicated object, they are linked together. Okay. If you select one object, press F and it, and you make some changes. For example, you change the solidify, you change the radius. If you go in the toolbox, you can find Boolean synchronization, and be careful when you click on it. As you can see, all Boolean, okay, all Boolean, which have the same source, change. Okay, after the new ability for the workflow, we will speak about new adjustments. And the first thing and the main thing is the taper. The taper is a deformation. You have a new item in the menu, taper, a widget appear, and it's exactly like a mirror or the array. Click on the widget to start the tool and make your deformation. Just one key is useful during this operation, is the C key to lock one axis. Okay. For example, here I deform only along X axis, Y axis, or both axes. This is the taper. The other new thing for the adjustment is a little improvement of the Inset tool. Okay, before the Inset tool is only to subtract matter, but now you can use union. Okay, it's just a little improvement. So this is a new ability. I think about the taper, just an ID like this. You can use it to do something like that. Use a taper along one axis and lock. You have this kind of result, and it's especially useful to make something like this. Let's go for the next point. The next point is a new feature, a new function that will improve the a new function will improve the interoperability of Fluent. This function is become Fluent. You can find it in the toolbox become Fluent. So what does this function? This function first will be able to change any Blender plan into a Fluent object. Quick demonstration, add a plan like this. For example, this is a plan. I can work on it, okay, with a normal Blender tool, okay. And you can turn it with become Fluent. You will transform this plane into a Fluent object. As you can see now, you can use Fluent to edit it. Okay. One of the most interesting things with this new feature is the ability to import and use SVG. For example, I will import an SVG. Oh, it's a little file. That's a curve. Okay. When you import an SVG, it's a curve. So you have to convert it into an object. Press F3 and search, convert to, and select mesh. Now this is an object, and if you press F and toolbox become Fluent, now this is a Fluent object. Or you can use it as Boolean object. For example, I will create something like this. Okay, and I can use it like Boolean object. Okay, so this is very, very interesting new feature. Another ability of the function become Fluent is to turn any Bezier curve into a Fluent wire. Just for the quick demonstration, I will add a curve. So this is a Bezier, F, toolbox, and become Fluent. This is now a Fluent object. So you can edit it like a Fluent wire. For example, you can turn it into a chain and you can, for example, simulate it. One of the most interesting case is what I show in my teaser. You can draw your curve on the surface. If you don't know how it works, that works like that. How to draw a curve on a surface? You don't need any add-on for that. It's in Blender natively. Press Shift A, curve, Bezier curve, and go in edit mode and remove every vertices. Okay. Press T to display the toolbar, and as you can see, you have this icon. This icon is to draw. Okay, but by default, that doesn't draw on the surface. For that, you have to right-click on the toolbar, either Show Tool Setting, and a new thing appear. Click on Surface, and I will add a quick offset, a little offset, absolute offset, and now you draw on the surface, and it's very cool. Now you can use the become fluent function. This is a curve, and why not, you can transform it into, turn it into a chain, and you have a chain along the plane, along the object. The next point is something very close to the become fluent function, but it's extract and become fluent. In fact, you will be able to extract a face of an object and turn this face into a fluent object. Demonstration with Suzanne. Okay. Hey Suzanne, how are you? Thanks. Press F, and now if you over duplicate and extract button, you have a new information. This is Alt Alt. Alt Alt, extract a face, then turn it into a fluent object. So I Alt Alt and click on duplicate extract. Now I select one face, for example this face, and press enter. This face is now a fluent object. Solidify, first bevel, taper. A new point in Fluent 1.6 is about drawing and primitive shape. Now you can draw a sphere. Okay, you can draw a sphere, create, Shift C, and you can draw a sphere. So like this, up, and you have a sphere. But one tips about sphere and the cut operation. Now you need to know something. I don't use this resolution randomly. By default is 16. Why 16? Because it's an odd number, okay? And this is a tips. Don't use an even number. Use an odd number. Why? Because if you use an even number, you will make an edge, okay, an edge loop at the middle of the sphere, so perfectly aligned with the surface of the drawing, and Blender hates that. You will have a lot of problem with that. So save your life, save your time, keep an odd number like this. The surface will cut the sphere in the quad, okay, at the middle of the quad instead of on the edge, and that will save your model in a lot of cases. So this is a tips, this is a trick. Don't use an even number, use an odd number. Continue with this idea about primitive and drawing. A new thing is in the addition menu of Blender. If you press Shift A, you have the normal Blender menu, but now you have a new item. This item is Fluent Primitives, and you can find the cube, the cylinder, and the sphere. For example, you can add a cube, so this is a Fluent cube. This is for all users that like work with the 3D cursor. You can place the 3D cursor and call, for example, a sphere, okay, and change the radius of the sphere. maybe you saw something in the toolbox that isn't here before. That is align view, for example. Align view is a new function. This is to align the view with a corner, with a vertex, okay, and make a specific cut. Just show how it works. Select your object, press F, toolbox, and click on align view. And now you can select a vertex. Click on vertex. The viewport will turn and switch to orthographic view. For what? Because now if you make a cut up with the rectangle, you will be able to make a cut like this, okay? Like a bevel just on one vertex, but it's a Boolean operation, and obviously it's editable. And with Fluent, we love the edition. We love to adjust and readjust, make and remake, destroy. Yes, I like that. Another function is in the toolbox. This is mirror all the cutter. In the toolbox, you have this one, mirror all the cutter. So, for example, if you work, okay, on your object like this, make a cut here, make a cut here, make a cut here, or another cut here, okay, and oh, I forgot to add mirror to my cutter. No problem, you don't have to select each one one per one and add a mirror. Go to the toolbox, mirror all cutter, and you can add the mirror for all cutters directly in one operation. Okay, so it's like you display everything, and one per one you go in edit and change the mirror, but it's automatically, and of course that stay non-destructive. Another thing to speed up the workflow, if I speak about support edges, VG cleaner function, you know, okay. If not, I will just explain you quickly. In Blender, when you make a cut on an object like this, you can see it adds two edges to support the Boolean operation, but these edges made a lot of problem. Okay, they make, and they will make a lot of problem in my model. So in a lot of cases, I have to add my own edges. And this is what we call support edges. For that, you go in edit mode, you add edges, and because this object is a Fluent object, I have to call a function. It's the VG cleaner function. Now we have a shortcut, Shift F, and Shift F will call VG cleaner. Okay, one more time, it's to speed up the workflow. Are you a DecalMachine user? Maybe or not, but a lot of people use DecalMachine. And now you can use all the power of the Fluent drawing to make your slice with DecalMachine. Just demonstration. This is an object, and of course DecalMachine is installed and activate in my Blender. If I call slice, but I hold shift and click on slice. Now I use Fluent as always. Okay, I can add a bevel, I can add a mirror. Okay, but the great difference is now when I will validate and exit Fluent, the result is that. Okay, this is a DecalMachine result. It is not a real slice, it's a decal. Okay, so if you don't know what is DecalMachine is a wizard which makes a lot of optical illusion. Okay, in fact it's just a plane on a surface. Now a quick little improvement to help you to toggle between live and frozen version of an object. In Blender, you know, at the core of the add-on, everything is editable, everything is a plane with a lot of modifier. And when you finished your model, in a lot of time you will want to apply everything. For that you have the autocomplete function. Okay, so you click on it, and this is now, you are in edit mode, you can see this is a real mesh. Everything is applied, so you can't change anything. But don't forget, Fluent never remove anything in Blender. always Fluent will make a copy, work on the copy, but hide the original object, but never remove anything. Now just press F, and if you read the tooltips, you can see Control Shift, Control and Shift, then click on autocomplete. And now you are back on the non-destructive version of the object. So press F, autocomplete. This is a destructive version. Oh, I want to make some change. So press F, Control, Shift, and click on the button. And it's now the non-destructive version of the object. So you can continue to edit it. And oh yes, it's better like this. Press F, autocomplete, and it's now the destructive version. The last point is about the pipe tool and how to align the start and the end point of the pipe. Before, you have to use an old key during the drawing, but now it's after the drawing. For example, I click here, and I want place the start and the end point exactly at the same Z axis, so I just press Z, okay? So Z will place it correctly, and I will avoid some problem because I'm close but not perfect. It's especially useful for people which use the pipe tool to make handle. For example, you want to make an handle, okay, press X, and this is perfectly aligned and no problem. So in this case, and in this case too, you are here, change the path like this and press X. I hope these new features will help you in your work. Anyway, don't forget, if you have any problem, jump in the Discord. It's the main place of the community. I'm connected every day. The community is very active, and it's the most efficient way to find help about your problem and share your creation. The link is in the description. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss the next videos about Blender, Fluent, and other stuff for the CG thinker. See you. Bye.
CG South, share our knowledge, grow together.